Today this video is going to be just a little different. It's going to be the same but different. We're going to talk about carving knives. This video is specifically going to focus on the Fadir tools. I think they call it their large spoon carving knife or their large hook knife. And they're made in Ukraine, and the quality on this specific knife is really good. I really like it. They do bushcraft knives, carving knives, hook knives, Sloyd knives. They do other tools too, chisels and stuff. And the quality seems like it's there. So these other knives on the table are mainly just for size comparison purposes. This is a large hook knife. It's got a nice long handle. It's well done, and it comes with this nice mask. Is what what they call it is a mask, I believe. And it's a nice leather sheath, basically. And you've got these little pin-style snaps. I'm not sure what you call these. And it's open on one side, and it comes out like that. And you have this really nice, almost full circle hook. Now, the first time I heard about Fadir tools, and I could be misremembering this, but there's a wood carver by the name of Woodsman's Finest, and you can find his YouTube channel and his Instagram. Just search Woodsman's Finest. If I remember correctly, he was the one I saw using this tool, and I can't remember if he designed it or not, but he was marketing it as an all-around spoon carving knife. And this is what most people would call a Twicka cam, and a Twicka cam is TWCACAM. Hooks like this are used for hollowing out big things like kuksas and bowls. And the idea is that you clamp your piece down, and then you have this to use two hands with, and you can hog out the material like that. And you can absolutely do that with this. This is essentially a Twicka cam, and you can absolutely use this to carve a spoon. I do like that it comes with a sheath. It comes with a really fine edge. The geometry on this is pretty thin, and it comes nice and sharp. Just so you get a good look at it. And it's ball bearing steel. I believe it's 52-100. So when I first started taking on wood carving projects, one of the early projects I wanted to do was a kuksa. And one of the first tools I bought was this Beaver Craft. And this is a Twicka cam. That's what it's marketed as. And this one's double-edged. We got an edge on both sides. So you can't use your other hand to leverage behind the backside, as to where this thing is not sharp on both sides. So you can push off of the backside if you want. And you can tell, you could probably just tell by looking at these that the quality of the Fadir tools is exponentially better than the Beaver Craft, and the price is going to attest to that. The price of this is a fraction of the price of this. These are both made in Ukraine though. So this is what I first used, and it worked. My first kuksa is garbage, but you got to start somewhere. And this would still absolutely work. I could sharpen this thing up, and I could use this. But I'm gonna pick this pretty much over it any day of the week, unless maybe I have a small piece that I need a small hook for. Just for a few size comparisons, as you can probably already tell, this is your regular Mora hook knife. And then here's a Deep Woods Venture small hook knife comparison. This is a Deep Woods Ventures, what they call large hook knife. So you can see that this is quite a bit bigger than their small hook. And I believe they're just referring to the hook when they say big and small, even though the handle is bigger, but it's also a completely different style handle. Each one of these tools is going to cut a little differently and be better suited for certain things. This is a custom one from a guy that lives here not too far from me that I bought. Runes Land Knives. Just a size comparison. This is probably one of the nicest beaver crafts that I've used. Comes with a nice little sheath, and it's a much more shallow hook. This one's approaching the length of this big boy here. And this is actually not a bad hook knife for the price. This one's a little bit more expensive than your average beaver craft, but not a lot. And then just last size comparisons, you got a Mora 106, and then the old beat up Deep Woods Venture Sloyd knife by Paul that I have. They don't even make them like this anymore. So let's strop it up and do a little carving. This will absolutely just eat through green wood. No problems. Like a laser beam. Is that you can turn it upside down, and then you can use the back of your finger, hold on to the handle and work the other side by tilting this and pushing with your finger, and then you're able to get other parts of the spoon bowl that would be harder to get otherwise. And I'll show you what that looks like on a spoon. So that's a neat feature with this hook knife. It just eats through the green wood. So it is sharp and it is effective. The wood I'm going to be using this on is just going to be hard and somewhat dry. So keep that in mind. So let's get a spoon out and show you this thing in use. So let's see, how should we do this? Like this. So as you can see, you can choke up on the handle here and do your regular spoon cross cuts here. You can also do your flip your hook knife upside down, and there's probably more than one way you can do this. But now I can get the other side of the spoon bowl, or any other hard to reach spot that you would normally have trouble getting. You can, since this is almost a full circle, you can turn it around upside down, and kind of use it like that. And any hook knife that has enough curve to it, you can do this with. But it's just another technique you can use. So as you can see, it's very capable of carving a spoon. Just choke way up on the handle, and then also double as a big cutting tool. If this were clamped down, I could really get two hands on this and hog out some material. Similarly with a small bowl. So yeah, that's the Fadir large spoon carving knife. I'm just gonna sit here and carve some spoons, and if I think of anything to show you guys or talk about anything that involves this knife, I'll let you know. So, working on this spoon here. There's a couple axe marks from the axe that I hit in there pretty deep. I'm gonna have to cut a whole bunch of material off to get those fixed. I was hoping they would just come off in normal carving, but they didn't. But this thing gets a pretty smooth finish on the bowl, and I think it's because it's so wide. There's so much surface area making contact at once with the bowl that it's leaving one smooth cut, rather than if you had a tight curve hook and it would leave a bunch of marks as you went along. So I think that helps quite a bit with this. But you see, and get into it like that. This is really awkward trying to show you on the camera, but I think you get the picture. It's got some thin geometry too, which I like. Like, I feel like this thing's thinner than all my other hook knives, and it's huge. Just working on keeping my lines even and symmetrical as I can. Keeping the spoon square and symmetrical. Square and symmetrical. This is what I would consider a roughed out spoon. So yeah guys, that's going to be it. That's just a little overview and look at the Fadir Tools large hook knife, large spoon carving knife. If you're looking for a big hook knife like this and you don't have a ton of money to spend, because these could get really expensive. It all depends on where you're buying them from. But if you want like a good quality one that isn't super expensive, but you don't want like a cheap one, check these out. They're on sale for like, I think when I checked, they were on sale for like $100, which would be a killer deal. I think I spent $120 or $130 for it. Even at that price, it's pretty good. But if you're looking for some decent quality tools that have like a nice rustic look to them, check out Fadir Tools. Check out their Instagram, Fadir Tools. My experience with this is really good. I really like this. It's one of my favorite hooks I've ever used, and I like it. So that's it. And I'm gonna finish this sometime, probably not right now. It's getting dark out. Gotta start making some dinner. This is Jake, Timberfall Craft.